great to do another live video after a long time. Today I would do some energy reading. I'll open some cards. And it has to do with love. Love that moves us around, love that moves mountains away. Love is the one thing that I see across the board that can get us to peace, that can bring us harmony, that can unite friend and foe. Love. And I see love around, and I see people coming together from different angles of the society. That gives me hope. That tells me, you see, it doesn't matter how many borders they will put there, and it doesn't matter how many restrictions and how much people will talk about separation and produce fear. In the end, love, attraction, relationship, those things will bring us together, this entire humanity. A lot of hope, a lot of hope. I want to share today, before I get to the cards, um, the struggles, or a bit, yeah, I could say the struggles that I'm currently having in my relationship with the twin flame reunion between Callie and me, that brings the best out of us, that continues to push us towards going beyond our current limitations, stepping more and more into the role. That's what I feel. I step more and more into the role of the divine masculine. I'm pushed, or I'm forced even. Of course, there is no force in the relationship, but there's a surrender. That is me surrendering to the relationship, and because I surrender to the relationship, each time I'm getting stuck with my old personality, or with that part of me that doesn't want to shift, that keeps on clinging on old habits, or on old perspective. Actually, that's a better term. Old ways of seeing things, old ways of doing things. Each time I am stuck on that and I cannot release that, the relationship to Callie will put me on the spot and will tell me through her words, or through the actions, through the interconnection, will just say to me, dude, you gotta let that go. You gotta continue moving on with yourself, continue developing yourself, and move on to the next phase of this relationship. Otherwise, it's getting stuck so quickly, and it's getting frustrated. And since we came back to union, we are bringing a lot of individual power into the relationship. Both her, Callie, with with whatever, with every work, inner work, shadow work that she have done, and with myself, with my own work. I feel I gained so much retrospective and confidence, and understanding power, understanding true inner power, divine power, that to bring it now to a relationship, it's challenging. For neither I nor her will compromise on things that we know are old, things that we know that needs to shift, things that we know are not promoting the relationship, and especially us as individuals. For the key element now in the relationship became exactly that. How do I maintain my strong individuality in a relationship where I have a strong individual in front of me? It's what I sense and what I feel. It's very much like a king and a queen, or even an emperor and an empress, if we're talking about tarot cards, or even a relationship between the high priestess and the magician, right? Where you have very, very strong individuals that create their own reality, that are aware that they create their own reality. So you have a lot of potential there, a lot of responsibility, and also very advanced understanding in how energy flows and how energy is being drawn to us and through us, is creating what we sense, is creating reality. So how do you bring that and such power to a relationship where you know that you don't want to hurt the other person, yet you are really confident about what you know to be true, and you are not going to compromise that truth, and yet you are asked to open yourself, to continue open yourself and shift yourself to expand that truth and to embrace another perspective of that truth, and that being your partner in the relationship. It's really beautiful what I am experiencing with her now. It's brought me to a higher state of manifestation. I feel very anchored in my reality, and it's beautiful to see how on one side, on one instant, I'm asked to bring passion, to bring that force that the divine feminine is calling me to bring that divine masculine power, to let that out, to shape and create the world through that expression. And that is a lot of fire. The fire element is very present over there. The passion. So I'm called by the divine feminine to bring that out, to bring that passion, to bring that fire, to bring that force. Yet my divine masculine, with everything that I have been through, doesn't allow it just to burst out, because it knows the potential of it to destroy. So my inner conflict, or it's not a conflict, but it's a way of opening and keeping a boundary on that opening, and each time opening a bit more to that expression and trying to navigate it outside like a laser beam. So when the energy goes through me, it's not being produced by that heat, rather it's being channeled through compassion and through focused intention, so it can be directed to what I want, or to what we want as a couple, and make that happen without creating the bursts of fire that we are used to see by such potent energy being channeled out. For that fire, that residue, hurts me and hurts others. So it's a beautiful understanding of how this goes. And I'll share with you that I find a lot of that Qigong, especially Qigong now, is helping me. I've been doing yoga for a long time, mastering that. It is still part of my practice, but I've been embracing more of the Qigong these days. For the Qigong allows me to really have the sense of that energy flowing inside of me and bringing it again and again to a somewhat still, not still point, but it would be more of a flow that is very subtle and very harmonized. Well, let's see what the cards have to show us. For Callie and I are trying to do now is to physically unite and to come together, unite a family. And we want to do this in Israel Yet we know that the US, Germany will have to open up quickly enough for us to be able to live life on 3 continents. But as I am now in Israel and I have created something beautiful here and really manifested structure and roots, something fell out. We want to do this in Israel. So we are seeing how this is possible to bring them over here. The US right now is not allowing me to go over there and help them pack up and just get organized and bring them here. But it's not allowing non-citizens that are not vaccinated to enter. Really interesting how a country allows itself to shut off a person that have children in its borders not to come and see them. It's really interesting how they can take that power and just use it like that. And I am, well, let's move to the cards, right? Let's see what the cards have to show us. I haven't seen them yet. What do we have here? The Fool, new beginnings, and 5 of Cups. Very interesting. Focusing on what is and letting go of what was. Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful expression. So what do we have here with the Fool? Look at that beautiful flower of life here at the bottom. Mm-hmm. The flower of life that reminds us that energy is structured and governed by sacred geometry, and that we have to respect that. That it's not limited, but when we are here, the masters of this universe, creating life through energy, we have to understand that we are not in control of the energy. We are just a channel of that energy, and we can move that energy through unique patterns. We have not created that pattern, so at least I am not controlling that patterns. Part of me, which is the divine part, the godly part, as you have your divine and godly part, created those patterns. Those patterns have been created by the Creator, moving throughout the archangels and the seraphim and the cherubim. And those structures are what we call today seraphim and cherubim. And they are forms, structures that allow energy to move through them. And we connect with those higher forces, so to say. And we as humans are drawing that energy here to Earth and moving it to the Earth reality, to the 3D or the 5D, depends where you are at. If you're watching that video, you are connecting more and more with the 5D. We are moving it into the 5D reality, 5 dimension. So this to remind us to respect that we are not in control of that it has been created before our time here on Earth, right now, before the right now moment. These structures are already standing and they are moving energy. So as the Fool goes out to the journey is already set. The journey is already predestined, you could say, right? The journey, the road is laid ahead, and the Fool goes out. It's already being structured. It's already been made. The road is paved, and the Fool can now start its journey with a lot of purity, a lot of happiness, a lot of trust. This particular Fool has the power of the stones with it. crystals, crystals, beautiful crystals. More and more that I get into crystals now and I learn about their power. Do watch a guy named Jane 108 that has brought a lot of the sacred geometry together and now the use of crystals as well. This particular fool has a cane with it, or a wand, you could see it even. A wand that reminds us that through reality, through the physical aspect of reality, we can channel, we can extend our energy source through the wand, through nature, and create. This is just a beautiful card, isn't it? And it's the card number 0. It's the card before even the beginning of everything, of all the journey of the Tao. This is card number 0. This is all of it together encapsulated. So beautiful. So when it comes to current love energy reading, there's a new start. There's a new start. I've been feeling it personally on my life, and I'm happy to see that this card is now showed up when I'm looking to general love reading, to general relationships. It shows that everything is laid ahead, and we just need to step into that relationship. Either we have recognized this relationship already, or we haven't recognized it, if we haven't met that person is there, that relationship is there, and it's asking us to step on the road and to start walking. That comes with trust, of course. We are calling the fool because we say the fool trusts blindly. And the reminder here is that the child trusts blindly. It comes to earth and it wants to explore, and it trusts its immediate surroundings completely. That's why it wants to touch everything, to experience everything. It allows itself to trust its parents fully for whatever they decide for him. The child trusts reality, trusts creation. And that's how the journey starts, with total surrendering and trust. So thank you so much for this card, for this beautiful card, giving us hope that, and saying, just go for it, just start. I see some of you are writing there. I'm too far to read it, but thank you for so much for your comments. I'll check them later and answer them, of course. The second cards that I have here that came out, flew out, is the 5 of Cups. Cups being the emotion, and this is somewhat of an emotion turmoil, right? And we all carry that emotional stress, emotional turmoil at a particular relationship. We wake up every morning with the memory of that relationship, of that turmoil, of that hurt, of that trauma, or of whatever is disturbing us between me and my partner. And the reminder here is to let that flow into oblivion. You see how those 3 cups are being circularized into the abyss, into a black hole. And that's where they need to go. This is also an energy portal. This is also an energy structure that was before that. This was before us, already part of this grid that we experience, that we move through, and that we call reality. The black hole that draws into it everything, and that you can trust that everything that goes through will come out from the other side enlightened. So whatever was, where are they? Here. Whatever was, the 3 cups, we can let it go. Let's breathe together into that, for this is a stress relieving moment. Whatever was, we can let go. Breathe with me and feel how that tension leaves your body, flows down from your shoulders, through your hands, and just being released to that black hole. Whatever was can be released, can be let go of. Whatever emotion, let that flow. When we keep it in the body, it's getting jammed, it's getting stuck, and it creates illness. Let's let that go together. Allow that to flow energetically from us and outside the energy portal that we have, either through our fingertips, our hands, our eyes, our noses, our mouth. Those are all, and our genitals, those are all energy portals that allow the energy to move in and out of the body. So the Fool needs that. The Fool, in order for it to come to that blind trust, needs to let all the old emotions go down the drain, so it doesn't need to focus on that. For us to move into the new chapter fully trusting, we need to completely let go of the old emotions, knowing that they don't serve us anymore, that we don't need to use them, that we don't need to have the memory of them now activating us. For then we are not a fool. We are not in that place where it's a tabula rasa, where we are completely with a clean slate stepping into the road, into the new path, into the new journey. And whatever we take with us, you see how it draws her energy, beautifully draws her energy. She's allowing her energy to go down the drain, so to say. Whatever was, it's to go down the drain. For right here beside her, there awaits the new potent, the new potential. It's already there, it's already within, and it's already escorting us into the new journey, into the next chapter. Beautiful. The raven wanted also to come with that. The raven is the animal that above all, or that the bird that above all reminds us to move beyond, to go with death, judgment, and incarnation in this body. The body doesn't need to die. The old needs to die. The old perspective needs to be let go of and move to the new perspective, to the new dimension, to the 5D. The raven can take us there. So in the next few days, if you hear a raven call, stop for a second to acknowledge that. If you see a raven, stop for a second to acknowledge it. And if you are left with a raven feather, know that this is a gift from you to yourself, from the creator part of you to the creating part of you, reminding you that you are on the right path and that you are making the move already. Thank you guys. Do take the time to like this video, to share it, leave a comment as you did. It does help the channel tremendously. And see you very, very soon. Take care.